So if I have an equation like this, it says negative 6x plus 3 equals 45. I'm going to write this a little more formally. Now, normally you would just see it say solve for x, but I'm going to say what value, and everything I write down I want you guys to write down, what value of x makes this equation true. Now, it sounds weird to say it that way, but mathematics it's very much a language. It's like learning how to speak Spanish. There's certain words that mean certain things, and everything has to be logically proven. So when I say what value of x makes this equation true, I'm really asking you to solve for x. But what we're really doing is we're finding one value for x that makes the left-hand side equal to the right-hand side. In other words, what value for x makes this left-hand side equal 45 because the right-hand side equals 45. Now, there's lots of numbers I could plug in for x, but is 42 equal to 45? No. Therefore, it's false. It's not true. It's a statement that has to be true. So in logic, and I don't want to dive into it too deep, in logic, statements have to be true. Otherwise, they don't make any sense. The dog is a cat. Logically, that's not true. But if I say the dog has long fur, or the dog is furry, that can be true. It can also be false. So that's logic. And so math is really logically proven statements. Okay? But basically, we're going to solve this. So what's the first thing that I should do to solve this? I want to get x by itself and all the other stuff on the other side, and I need to do the opposite to do that. So I have a choice to move the 3 away from the x or the negative 6 away from the x. This number in front of the x is called the coefficient. That is almost always last. So I'm going to move the 3 first. What's the 3 doing to the x in the equation? It's adding. So in order to move it, I have to do the opposite. So I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides. Now, one of the things that I've not really talked about is the formality of that. When I subtract 3 from both sides, I am using the subtraction, whatever I write down, I need you guys to write down, the subtraction property of equality. Right? And so what that means is whatever I do on one side of the equal sign, I have to do on the other. That keeps the equation balanced and true. In other words, this next line that I'm about to write down, negative 6x equals 42, this line is the same as this line from a mathematical perspective. Because whatever I did on one side of the equal sign, I did on the other. And that's a property. It's a subtraction property of equality. Okay. So now the next step is I need to get rid of the negative 6. The negative 6 is being multiplied by x, so I do the inverse operation of multiplying. I'm getting rid of the negative 6. So I'm going to do the opposite of multiply and divide by negative 6. And whatever I do on one side of the equal sign, I have to do to the other. Now that one, that is the division property of equality. And I think I said inequality. I don't know why on the last thing, but I mean equality. So negative 6 divided by negative 6 is a positive 1. A positive 1 times x is just x. 42 divided by x equals negative 7. Now what that means, and we haven't talked about it a lot, is that formally negative 7 is the only value that I can plug in for x that makes the left-hand side of the equal sign equal 45. Thus, it makes the statement 45 equals 45 true. Or we're just solving for x. Okay? Any questions on that one?